This segment of Coast Life is sponsored by Benvenuto.
CoastLife, some dishes feel like a warm hug, and this dish is no exception. We are, of course, at Benvenuto for this week's Dish of the Week, and these are just the ingredients. We have Chef Zeus here to help us put it all together. How you doing today, Chef?
I'm doing excellent, Miss Kendall. How about yourself?
Doing great. I'm always glad to be here.
I love it. I'm glad when you guys are here, all right? And you know, you get a lot of recognition for this, but I want to give a shout out to the main man, the director behind the camera, all right, B. He's right there, all right? He's making this happen. Right, we never mentioned him enough,
That's
right?
very true.
So I want to give props to him in 2026. So look, this is a soup that we're doing here, and we call this our roasted pepper and crab bisque.
And what we're making today is one of those comfort dishes that really hits the spot. Chef Zeus starts things off with a hot pan and a little blended oil, a mix of olive oil and vegetable oil that can handle high heat while still adding great flavor. Next up, roasted onions go into the pan, cooking them down just a bit more to build even more flavor.
You're going to just develop another layer of flavor by doing this. And you can smell that already. Now, when I smell this, it reminds me of my home city, which is Philadelphia.
Yes.
And anywhere you go, all right, downtown, you smell the onion. Yes, yes, exactly.
Then comes a splash of white wine, cooked down so the alcohol evaporates and all that flavor stays right in the pan.
I can see now that I have big bubbles, all right? So that tells me that the alcohol has been burned off, okay?
From there, he adds a rich stock made from chicken bones but infused with crab and shrimp shells for that extra seafood depth. And now the star of the show, roasted red peppers going into the pans with those onions. And Chef Zeus says when you roast peppers at home, don't worry about a little char. That's actually where a lot of the flavor comes from.
Now, there is some juice in there as well, okay? So as the roasted peppers cool, they're going to expel some of that juice. And see, they've been peeled, so you see some of that char on there that we couldn't get to. And that's okay, because it has a really good flavor.
A little salt, a little black pepper, just enough to start bringing all those flavors together. And to give this bisque its signature creaminess, he adds heavy cream right into the pan.
Now, I can see that our peppers are nice and hot just by feeling them. Ooh, that feels nice and hot, all right? Our onions are nice, and we can see over here,
starting to bubble.
That's all boiling, so we know we are piping hot.
Now, before everything goes into the blender, Chef Zeus says this one step is where you need to be extra careful.
Now, I will tell you, you guys at home, all right, we do it here every now and then. We get a little busy, we're not paying attention. Whenever you add anything hot to a blender, okay, you have to be very careful with this lid here. I've seen folks put the lid on, buzz it, and it pops out, and I mean, we're talking hot liquid everywhere.
We don't want that.
No, we don't want that. So
hot liquid can build up steam fast, so always keep a hand on that lid.
This here, kind of like just lightly on there. Start it, and then as it started, then you can kind of remove this, but there's going to be a lot of steam that's going to build up, and that's what will pop your lid off, okay?
Gotcha.
The peppers and onions go right into the blender along with that rich stock and cream mixture.
Yeah, you can really get that pepper.
Absolutely, look at that color.
Nice.
Okay, look how amazing that looks. Just a beautiful color, all right? And look, no splashing. All right.
Or lids popping off.
Yes, or lids popping off. So again, you know, for you guys at home, I'm sure there's people watching right now, they're like, oh my God, that happened to me. All right, so that is a trick. Just kind of hold it on there to get it started, and just be very careful so you're not splashing yourself. Now,
and because this is the Eastern Shore, the final star of the show is fresh crab meat, plus a little Old Bay for that classic local flavor.
Eastern Shore.
Oh, you have to use some Old Bay.
A little bit of Old Bay. Now, you can see that even with the crab that we added to this, you see the steam.
Yes.
It's piping hot.
Yeah, you can even touch the side and you can feel that heat coming off.
Exactly.
And now that everything is hot and perfectly blended, it's time to plate this up.
Okay, Zeus, now it's time to plate this, am I right?
Yes, yes. And these are perfect bowls for this. This is our, we call these our float plates, all right?
They're fancy.
Yes, they are fancy. Okay, and all we're gonna do is just pop this in, and you can see how creamy. Now, the thing is this, if you notice, we didn't add any bread to this.
Right.
All right. or any other thickener, which we typically do with a lot of our thickened soups, the bisque and things of that nature. But what happens is, if you use the right amount of peppers, all right, the ratio of the peppers to to the other liquids, what happens is you wind up with a bisque that is just a perfect consistency, and that's pretty much what you have here. So you can see that the consistency is perfect.
And you have this beautiful pop of green that you just added
that's
to.
it. Very simple, but delicious. Now I have a couple spoons there. If you guys want to try these, they're out of this world.
Perfect. Zeus, this smells amazing. We both have our spoons. Cheers.
We're going in.
Let's dive in. Oh yeah, this looks great. Wow.
How good is that?
That is amazing. It is really creamy.
It is.
I love it though. That's awesome.
And you can taste the char from the roasted peppers.
Yes.
Right? And that sweet crab, and then just all those other flavors that blend in there, the creaminess. It is literally a perfect soup for this time of year.
It's the perfect soup for this time of year. And you know what else is one of my favorite things about this is? It's the CoastLife Dish of the Week. So you can stop by Benvenuto in Milford and ask for this dish. You'll get it 10% off for this dish. You can't beat that. That's a steal.
Absolutely, I love it. I'm going back in for some more.
Oh, yep. We're going to keep eating this CoastLife, but stick around because we have more on the way.